Good night, everyone, and welcome to our final night of the Shark Tank for We Women International edition 2023. And tonight, like all the other three previous nights, we have teams that are going to be pitching their activities for seed money for their awareness days. Tonight, we're talking about the day for the elimination of violence against women and girls. And we have four teams that will come before you tonight. And we're asking you to share with us where you're joining us from and share with us what team are you rooting from. We've heard some really great teams. Last night was amazing, and we know that tonight will be also. We want to first say thank you to Craig from Solutions Web Designs. Last night, after listening to Shark Tank, he decided to donate $500 to For Real Women International of Queens, Long Island for their Day of the Girl dinner party. I think that deserves like a huge applause, right? So we invite you to do the same. If you have friends who may be small business owners or friends who you know could donate $10, $20, $25, whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be a big amount because every little bit put together matters and it counts. We invite you to share this link with them. Tell them, hey, come watch this. And I invite you to support me and my team, or I invite you to support this cause if you're not a member of For Real Women International. And if you're not a member and you're watching, we invite you to support our cause at any time. All your donations go to very, very worthy causes, and they get on the ground and they do the work that is needed. So I want to bring on our judges tonight. Tonight we have Miss Kayla Cato, who was with us last night. We have Dr. Arlene Calwood. We have Chantal Fulgencio, who's joining us for the first time, and Adriana, who was with us on our second night, I think. So each one of the judges is going to share a little bit about themselves. They're very worthy judges. They have been chosen for a specific reason, so they'll share with you a little bit about their professional trajectory and how their being here, what that means to them. So let's start with Kayla.
Hi all, good evening. How are you? Hi all, good evening. My name is Kayla Cato and I am joining from New York. I was a judge last night and I thoroughly enjoyed watching all the presentations, and I'm glad to be back here again tonight. So thank you so much, Norca, for inviting me on here. As I said before, my name is Kayla Cato and I serve as a donor relations coordinator for Real Women. So that includes maintaining and creating relationships with donors. And professionally, I serve as the academic program coordinator at Queens College Community Programming. So that is specifically working with master's and doctoral students in their curriculum and instruction. And again, I am excited to be here.
Hi, good evening. I am Arlene Colwood. I am coming out of New York. I was here last night as well and really had a fantastic time. Professionally, I am an educator. I work with the City University of New York as a mathematics professor, as well as with Long Island University as a teacher educator. So I am here because I love the work with women, and I am also very, very interested in youth development, in the development of our young people, not just females, but like last night's team, one team talked about boys wanted to be included too, and they were able to infuse the males into the project. So just youth development.
Hello, I'm Adriana. I am the branding and marketing director for Real Woman. I am a web designer, graphic designer, photographer, and social media manager. And I honor to be here because all the teams have wonderful proposals, and it's really a pleasure to see how they are moving their working. And I was thrilled when Norca invited me.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone, my name is Chantal Fahencio, and I'm really excited to be here tonight because it's actually my first time participating in something like this, and I haven't yet had the chance to look at some of the proposals from early this week as I've been traveling and I just came home late last night. So I've been catching my bearings, catching up with everything. And so I'm excited to hear all of the wonderful project proposals. And this is something I'm extremely interested in because at the moment I am working on incorporating my family's nonprofit. And so we are in the wheelhouse where we're constantly fundraising and thinking of ways to continue to build our brand and be active in the community and do more outreach. And we've just finished a big program where we've collaborated and partnered with other local nonprofits that are centered in community engagement, youth and development, helping our local homeless shelters. So I am coming off of a high of all these wonderful events and everything, and I'm really excited to hear about all the wonderful things that all the teams are doing and to see how I can help in some of your ideas and maybe learn some few things myself. So I'm looking forward to what everyone has to share this evening. And hi, Maricela. I saw the special shout out. So good to see you all in the chat, ladies.
So thank you, everyone. Great to have everyone. Today's our final night, and let's see if day 4 tops day 1, 2, and 3, because day 1, 2, and 3 were really fantastic. I mean, last night we went a little late, but the projects were really well thought out. Today, again, we're vying for the Awareness Day for Day of the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls. I see a lot of Brooklyn in the house. I hope that others are there also. Cheer the other teams. We have 4 teams presenting tonight. We're starting with Brooklyn, then we're going to Riverside, California, then Cawita, Talamanca, Costa Rica, and we're ending with Curacao, Willemstad, Dutch Caribbean. And even our judges have international flavors. So I think 1 is in Pennsylvania, 1 is in New York, or 2 are in Pennsylvania. And Adriana is joining us all the way from Uruguay. And I know that at this time, what time is it in Uruguay right now, Adriana?
She's on mute.
You're muted.
Muted.
I'm mute. Okay, I'm 2 hours ahead. It's 10:12 right now.
Yeah, so by the time we're finished, maybe it's about midnight. So we thank Adriana for joining us. So we are going to start with Team Brooklyn. I see them lined up here already. Their presenters are here. We're going to bring them on. Team Brooklyn is in the house. We're going to bring them on. And we are going to allow the presenters to, we see there is Natalie, there's Christine, there's Glenda, there's Kinta, and I think Hollis was here. Where's Hollis? We lost Hollis. Okay, when she comes on, we'll bring her on. So we are going to take the judges off. We're going to ask you to present your pitch. Tell us all about your project for the Day of Elimination of Women and Girls. And then we'll bring the judges on to ask you questions. And then we'll take you off, and the judges will then give suggestions for extensions of this project. Thank you very much, ladies, for the investment of your time.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and good evening, judges. So I'm Christine Honore, and we're here, and my team is here. We have such a passion for this violence against women. On October 21st, we did launch violence against women, and if you notice, my sisters are all wearing orange. The orange is the color of violence against women, and on the shirt it shows, on the t-shirt it shows, yes, you can see it. It shows the woman is holding have that X across her chest. Well, this was our t-shirt for that time. So our theme for this year is it's fearless and flawless. Fearless, being empowered. Flawless, from weakness to strength. Violence against women. It's our human right. It's a human right issue. It's a public health issue. It's a family, community, worldwide issue. It's a mental issue and it's a health issue. Did you know 150 million girls worldwide are raped or subject to sexual violence each year, usually by someone in their family circle? Did you know globally, around 137 women are killed by their partner or a family member every day? And as I'm speaking right now, there is a woman somewhere is fighting for her life. And there's women or a woman died today. A woman died today because of violence against women, probably killed by her partner. Mm. Then there is somewhere a little girl, a little 10-year-old girl is crying because she just got married. Doesn't this boil your blood? It is time for us to set ablaze. It's time for us to set ablaze. It's time for us to take action. Action against violence against women and girls. And Brooklyn, we are here and we are fired up. So Hollis, take it away.
Hi, good night, everyone. So, I don't know, man. Would I?
Okay.
Nobody.
Natalie, is
Go.
it
Unmute.
you? You
Okay.
mute.
Okay, great. Okay. So our objective is to sorry, good night. Good night, judges. Good night, everyone. Our objective is to inspire to create a movement to honor, to empower, respect, and love to women and girls. Um, HURL as the acronym for it. We want to provoke and create an antidote to the poison of violence against women. And we want to create this movement to decrease and eliminate violence against women and girls. Our ultimate goal is to bring awareness, to bring education. We are planning. We want to have a march through Prospect Park and in the community to share the visibility of the movement. And this we would like to do annually. Other goals that we have came up with, we want to develop or enhance resources and services to meet the various related needs of women and girls.
So this evening, we are going to look at how can we plan strategically to really accomplish what we set out in 2020 based on what we have identified. So first, we are going to allow ourselves to collaborate with various organizations and create a coalition in order for us to first identify this unique population that we're providing this service for. Secondly, we are going to not only engage the women who are affected by this, but we are also engaging the men. 10 things that men can do to support women who have been the recipient of various violence. Now, we know that when men are silent, there is an impact to us as women. At this time, we are also going to collaborate with our violence unit here in Brooklyn, as well as the leaders for our area and district. From this collaboration, we expect to provide education, sessions, signs and safety measures, not only for women, but for young girls, so they can identify, recognize, and be informed about the factors that can influence or impact them as women, so they may not receive these abuse. Thirdly, we are going to align ourselves with the community leaders, our churches, our councilwomen, and lastly, we are engaging our schools as well. So with that, we look forward to a very strong collaboration amongst our community leaders and members. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just gonna do Holly's bit because she wasn't able to do hers. Are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, I had to do it on my phone because I don't know what went wrong with my laptop.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, exposure to violence and abuse has been associated with death and also physical and mental outcome. Violence proportionately affects vulnerable populations such as women, girls, lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender, questioning and intersex individual, and those living in poverty, among others. In addition to violence, immediate trauma caused by abuse and domestic violence contributes to a number of chronic health problems, including depression, alcohol and substance abuse, sexually transmitted disease such as HIV and AIDS, and often limits the ability of women to manage chronic diseases such as diabetes.
Okay. And how are we going to promote this? Well, our promoting and marketing strategies like this. We want to have a Zoom event to interview or an interview on Facebook Live with the police officers as guest speakers on sex trafficking, because there's a lot of sex trafficking going on in Brooklyn. A host of them. A number of times we hear of, have you seen this girl? Have you seen that girl? The girl's gone missing, even the young boys gone missing and never to be found. And for some reason, people lay for deaf ears. Nobody is saying, well, did you see that person, or they search for the child or anything like that? So although this maybe searching, but not in the open for everybody to actually search for the children. So we are going to have that. We are trying to impact our target number of women and girls that we are hoping to impact is 3,000 plus. We are going to do the whole, but we're going to have invitation and enrollment of other organizations. We're going to have flyers, social media. We are going to engage Pink Room, and we are hoping that each community board can create their own funds. We will also seek to fund the funding from our women community board, the assembly and council and congress women. And also there is a flea market plan by our team for the month of August to aid in the funding. This year, our projected budget is 2,500 for now. It might be more because we might, after we done pick up our grassroots, I think we're going to have much more than 3,000 persons there. Thank you. Okay, great. Let's bring on the judges and let's see what specific questions they may have about your project. So this sounds like it's a series of things. It's not just one thing. That's what I'm hearing here. Okay, go ahead.
I can go first. So first, you're saying excellent project and idea. It's also like a continuation of one of the teams that had a program geared towards those who have unfortunately been in sex trafficking rings. So one of my questions was, I heard you say that you want your target to reach 3,000 people, and I also heard you mention Zoom. So in reaching these 3,000 people, would that specifically be over Zoom, in-person events, or a combination of both?
A combination of both.
Okay, and which programs would take place on Zoom and which ones would be in person?
The one with the sex trafficking, where the police officers come in and because they help to give not just the statistics, but they help to give the avenues where they can to help to relocate the missing children and stuff, the missing women and girls. So they have the know-how. I've been to one of the events in Brooklyn Borough Hall, and they are very diverse in that. And I even met up with one young lady, O'Reilly. She has a group of young women, very young women, because she's a victim from sex trafficking, and she has young women that goes about with her and talk to the children in the school. They are in young children in school that goes around and educate the children so they know what to look for.
So, Team Brooklyn, I congratulate you on your Fearless and Flawless project as you're putting that together. Your t-shirts look wonderful. And I think your plan is very ambitious. One of my questions first then is, you talked about a march in Prospect Park. Do you have a date for that event?
Yes, we're looking at September. I know it's in November, but we're looking for a time when it's a little warmer, so between September and October, so we can get everybody out. So when it's too cold, nobody don't want to really go outside and match. So we're looking for the climate, the weather time that people would get out and make it the present store.
And with so that takes place around September, October. The other initiatives that you have, so is the Fearless and Flawless project, is this a year-long project then? Is this something you're doing incrementally over the year until you get to, is the March then kind of like the big event leading up to that, from the Zoom event, the in-person event that you spoke about?
Yes.
Is this the final, would the March be the final?
March is the final
project.
Yes.
And so you're hoping then that the 3,000 individuals, so you're hoping to get that. So that 3,000 those 3,000 individuals, you're hoping to get to the march, as well as to service them with these initiatives, the Zoom event and the in-person. And talk to me a little bit more, by the way, of the in-person event. Like, do you have a location, and what would that look like for you?
The in-person event would be like it's like we want to do a Facebook Live where so it's not in-house, we would get the count. It's like a pink, why would do pink room? Now we're going to talk to you about that. We have, we want that so the people would know that it's coming, and then they know that, okay, this is going to happen, and that is the time it's going to happen, and they would be looking forward to it. Yes.
I have a.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just. Oh gosh, Adriana.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Chantal. No, I just wanted to ask, if you win, what will the money go towards?
Oh, it does nothing comes to us. It all goes towards the event, because there we have to we're looking forward to ask the council women and everybody to help fund the event, because but then we also has to do like permits, and all those takes money. So the money is for that purpose, and we have to get when you finish the match, you definitely need a snack, you need water,
Everybody's thirsty by then. So that's what it's going to go to.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, ladies. So I just wanted to congratulate you on your presentation, on doing a great job. I love the energy. I love the shirt. I love everything about what you all said. And what I really love the most is how you're building momentum throughout all your different initiatives. I think that's really great. And I consider myself now as a person coming from somewhat of a nonprofit background, how it is with grassroots. I always say when I post things myself, like, we celebrate grassroots greatness, because really it's about getting your message out there, finding your niche, and collaboration, like community collaboration.
Yes.
I cannot stress that enough. So I really love that you're pulling from all different parts in the community and keeping your community stakeholders accountable and having them help you with this wonderful goal that really everyone is included in this conversation. So I commend you on that. I'm really proud of what you're all doing. And two of the ladies actually took my question. So at this time, I don't actually have a question, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm really excited about this event and what's to come of it. And I think it's great. Build momentum so that way people, are familiar with what it is that you're doing. And then when you have your big blowout, it's almost like a celebration of all the things that you've already, celebrated along the way. So I think this is really exciting, and I'm happy to see how I can help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team Brooklyn. Thank you, Christine, Glenda, Dr. Quinta, Hollis. We appreciate the investment of time. We appreciate the commitment to your communities, to the women and girls in your communities, and for thinking big. So thank you so much. At this time, we're going to remove you.
We have one more question.
Sorry, somebody said something?
One more question.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
You also talked about 10 things men can do. Is that going to be an outreach initiative then? Is that a separate event that you're planning along the list of events that you have?
No, it's a one of the initiative, but it's not a separate. It's not separate. It's basically encouraging the men to help the women to what they can do instead of bidding on the women. And
so is this a flyer, a presentation?
It's a flyer.
What is it exactly? Okay.
We got a flyer, yes.
Both a flyer and a presentation.
Okay, about a flyer and a presentation.
presentation. So we'll have the men engage at the conclusion of the march, that they can also present and be not just a flyer, but a face and voice on behalf of men for women. And I think their presence validates who we are and why women need to be in safe environments and be supported by them accordingly.
Okay, so it's built into the march, then not a separate event along. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again, ladies. Great job. We're now going to screen you off and then listen to the judges share a little bit more about what they think you can do to add. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great night. Okay, judges, ambitious project. Lots of layers to it. What are your thoughts? What are your ideas? Considering that they also have other awareness days that they also participate in.
Yeah, that is true. I think the ideas are good. I like, I saw a lot of, it was well researched. There's a lot of passion behind it. I do think that a little bit more structure would be helpful. And I think that could come from being able to set that date, whatever that date is, and then having a rain date just in case, or a cold date, whatever we might call that, a cold date just in case it's too cold for that day. And maybe that might be helpful in terms of planning these other events that lead up to that as well, including perhaps even with the 10 things the men can do, having that flyer and maybe having a day of distribution for that within the community, within communities, which could also help to springboard and get to that 3,000 that they're looking for the march.
Great suggestions. Anyone else? What other suggestions would we have for them? So having the plan Bs and the alternatives and thinking about, yeah.
Yes, definitely. I'd have to agree. I think structure and organization is so important, especially because they have so many different things going on. It's really easy to get overwhelmed and then things feel like they're kind of thrown together for the sake of completing a project. But I think the structure, the organization, and having attainable goals as they go through that structure will be really helpful. And even if you're in those spaces and you're just reaching out to 5-10 people, like that's still 5 or 10 people that can also reach out to others. So having celebrating the small things, having attainable goals at each milestone, I think is really what's going to help them, because it is such a large project.
Anyone else? Adriana, from the marketing perspective, anything you would like to share?
Yeah, I see they have flyers, social media, ping room, and the only thing I can say is if they want to reach a little more social media, they could invest, I don't know, $100. I'm not saying a lot, but if they invest in paid advertising, and they can limit
hard copies to share.
Yeah, that can be limited to New York, to the area they want, and to certain keywords, like so the advertising reach abusive women living in New York, and it might see like more waste of money, but it can reach women the other way that won't see the social media if they don't follow us already.
Great suggestions, those keywords. Yes. All right, Kayla, anything on partnering, on getting more donors, getting support, getting financial support? It's a big endeavor.
Yeah, my only
here might not be enough. Yes.
My extension, what they already named it when they said that they would invite councilwomen and from their communities.
Right.
And because it is a very ambitious project with a lot of people that they want to reach, I think coupling the support of the council person of their specific community with their project will really help them get the word out, get the funds, and really attest to the strength and the success of their project.
And
I think that council member is key.
And I think that in your previous presentations, they talked about the relationships that they had brokered already with these civic leaders. So kind of like extending that. That would really be a good thing. Thank you so much, judges. We are at this time going to bring on Riverside, California. And listen, we gotta give it to Riverside. Riverside has presented every single day, and this is a solo team. This is not a team that can have 2 people today, 2 different people by herself on her own every single night. She's been treading away. And we got to applaud that. So we bring on Patty, a solo team from Riverside, California, as she presents and pitches for the elimination of violence for women and girls. Patty, how are you tonight?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. How is everybody else doing? I think you're like listening to everything. I'm seeing your faces of excitement about all these teams presenting this wonderful innovations in plans. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the information that you have provided for us. I've been taking notes, not only on my part, but also everything that you have done with giving the information to other teams. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. So thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you so much, Patty. So at this time, we're going to allow you to do your thing, and then we will be back for questions.
Thank you very much. What are we planning for oh my goodness. Come on, Patty, wake up. It's one of those days that you're thinking everything and you're not thinking nothing at the same time. For elimination of violence against women and girls, there's 3 different activities in 3 different dates. I don't want you to think that it's too much. It's one thing, and no, it's 3 different dates. First date will be in the month of August. I was invited to be one of the speakers at a group of women in regards to I will be speaking in regard of all types of violence against women. The group will impact a minimum of 300 women. The place where this group is meeting, if feel or having this conference, if it can hold up to 2,000 people. They had these meetings before, and usually it's not 2,000 that come, but this the minimum, it's about 300 people that will come, and it's in the Riverside area. That for that is particular presentation, I don't have to make my own propaganda because they will propaganda for me. They will do the all the flyers and everything, because I'm not the only one that it's presenting. It's other ones presenting at the same one after another one, just giving information to the woman that about violence against awareness against violence against women. The second, and this is the most important one for me, it's we are working in collaboration with Calexico Mission School again. As you heard it yesterday, we do activities with the girls yearly. And when they go home and they present to their parents, hey, we heard about this, we talked about this, they talked to us at school about this. And one day, the parents came to my sister in Calexico and said, why are you only working with the girls? We as parents, we are as females and moms, we also need the support. So this year we want to start a new innovation program and a new tradition. So every year we want to do this with the parents of the girls at Calexico Mission School. We are going to present to them and talk to them about the importance of people respecting you respecting yourself and your body, and awareness about violence and the different type of violence that there's out there. You know, as we know, when there's violence at home or domestic violence or any type of violence, it affects a woman, not only women, but everybody that is affected by depression, anxiety. It also increases the stress disorder and the possibility of suicide, as well as premature mortality. So we want to avoid that, but not only assisting the girls, but also assisting the parents, and let them know what is it that they need to do to help their own families. As I mentioned yesterday, a lot of the students from Calexico Mission School come from to cross the border every morning to come to the school, and a lot of these parents are live in Mexico, and they don't have the possibility to fully come to or cross the border to come to our activity. So what we're thinking is, this time, because they're parents from Calexico Mission School, we are going to travel to them. We are going to travel to them and go to the other side of Calexico, which is Mexicali. And our goal is to have a presentation for the parents and have a special dinner for them. The funding that we are requesting is to have a special dinner for them, because they are serving all the time. These are the parents that whenever the school needs something, they're there. Whenever For Real Woman comes to make a presentation, they're there, setting up, helping, trying to make sure that everything it's clean, that the school is clean, so everybody that is coming to the presentation or any guest speaker, it's well treated and catered, you know. So this woman are usually serving others. They're trying to make sure that there's food, trying to make sure that the school is clean, everything. So what we want to do for them is to take them out to a special dinner just for the mom, just for mom. And if it's possible to have a mother and daughter dinner, that will be awesome. That is something that's still on the talks. But the most important thing is to do a dinner, the talk, the presentation for the parents, and then the dinner, because they don't even know what a nice dinner is. And if you are a mom, you know that your eating time is about 5 minutes because you have to take care of everybody else. So we want them to feel special. We want them to know that they are valuable, that they're special, and that they are able to, somebody's going to come and serve them. Somebody's going to come and cater to them. And what we're asking is approximately $15 per person. And it's about 30 ladies that will be attending. So the funding that we are requesting, it's $450 to $500. And you might ask, are these ladies going to be selected? That there's so many students at the school. The women's selection will be especially, everybody will be able to go to the presentation, but for dinner, it will be especially for the parents or the moms of the graduating senior class for that specific year. And the last but not least, it just happened literally before I jumped into this meeting, is that I got a call from the previous school where I used to have the For Girls International Club, and she wants to have all the information in order to start a club. And I was talking to her, and I was giving her all the information necessary that I could, and all the information. And she invited me right and then to do a presentation on in the month of October or November to the club that she will start. And that presentation will be either taking place on October or November. That is a private event because it's for the school. And so there's no propaganda needed except the parents' permission for us to talk to the girls. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening to us. And I really hope that this project will be impacting your minds and your hearts. And hopefully we can get a little bit so we can help others. Thank you very much. And like our logo says, one woman at a time, one girl at a time as well.
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
Really impressive. Let's hear from the judges. They have questions for you. And I know there's a little child there in the background, hey.
Yes.
Holding on to all these different things. So it's all right. Don't stress about it. We got it. Who would like to be first?
I guess my mic is the only one unmuted. Is that the hint, other judges? First? I don't know. Awesome. I guess I first have to start by saying congratulations again, Patty, for your solo initiative. You said you had 3 activities and you had 3 dates. And I guess you're tying those are all linked and tied into this initiative on violence throughout the year.
Correct.
Do you have a specific title for your event, for these 3 events, or would you just like us to look at
Well, the first event, it's done by them. So they're the ones who, by this group of women, and they have their own directors and everything. So they're the ones who, they just give me and me and the other speakers, the theme that we're going to talk or present. Okay. For the third event, the one for at the school, previous school where I used to work, they wanted me to talk about violence. We haven't, it was just a few minutes before I jumped into the meeting right now with you guys. So we haven't discussed much, but that's the information that I have so far.
Okay.
And the one for Calexico Mission School, it's we have the presentation, and we're hoping to do the mother and daughter, so we can be together, mother and daughter. We don't have the names as specific, but that's what we're looking into, and we're hoping it works that way.
Okay, that's fine. I'm tying it. I'm just trying to tie it all together. I guess we look at it as one, as you're looking at it as one project. In terms of the new parent initiative, I really enjoyed that. So you reached out, I know from last night that you have an initiative for the girls, and now their moms want to be included in that initiative.
Correct.
So I congratulate you on thinking on how you can reach those mothers as well. In terms of that, so you said you'll conduct the workshop and you'll have a dinner. Will these two things be on the same day, or are you thinking of having separate dates for them? One day for the workshop and another day for the dinner, or are you thinking that the dinner will precede the workshop?
The dinner will precede the workshop, because we want to acknowledge those ladies during the workshop and let them know, that they are, they have done a great job by helping their kids so far, because a lot of them not only work to provide for their families, but also to pay for their kids' tuition to graduate. So we wanted to, go ahead.
Sorry, is that going to be a separate day then?
No. It's going to be on the same day. We're going to have the presentation. We're going to just, say little something to them on that day. Then from there, taking my car, Theresa's car, and somebody else, one of the other teachers' cars, we can take those parents that are going to be the senior parents that are going to dinner, and feel super special.
All right. So my concern there was that if it's on the same day, for example, and one event was following the other event, that the other women do not feel somehow left out or are not aware as to your criteria for who was going to dinner. So if the women that are going for dinner is just the graduating class, I would recommend that becomes something that's clear to the other women as well, who will attend the workshop but not be part of dinner as well.
Okay. Yeah. We will notify them in advance that it's an event for graduating parents.
Okay.
For kids of the graduating seniors at that time. They have done the senior night. They have done different things, but they honor the student, and only seniors come to that event. But this time is going to be graduating for the parents of the graduating seniors. So it's not for the student. It's not for the daughter or the son. It's for the mom. For the mom that works really hard, waking them up every morning, cooking for them, working hard. A lot of these ladies, they come from, because they live in Mexico, and unfortunately in our countries, they suffer for violence. So some of them already exited that situations, but some of them is still in those situations. So we just want them to make them feel special. At least it says just for a couple of hours.
One of the things we had to feel here is the goal, and I guess the goal of the three events is awareness, education. What I cannot fit there is the dinner goal, is as you say, is to make them feel good. I mean, I can tie the date, the violence against women with the dinner. I don't know.
The awareness is out there, and yes, we want them to feel special. Like I repeated, like I said earlier, they are women that are used to cater to other people, that they're always serving other people and nobody serves to them. So we want somebody to have a waitress or somebody else to come and say, how can we help you? Is there anything that would you like to order? So those are little things that we are planning for them, so they feel special. And just feeling special for one day, maybe some of the or a couple of hours, maybe some of the women, their cup will be full for the rest of the year. Some of the women will be full for a half of the day, but at least they have that experience of saying, I'm special. And you know what? That will be a great title. I'm special.
Questions from
Thank you.
Kayla and Chantal?
Yes. So I just wanted to first say that all three ideas are excellent, but just highlighting on the dinner that you're going to have with the mothers of the senior class, I love that it'll be in Mexico. It's like you're meeting them where they are. So that is extremely admirable. My one question was the venue. Is it going to be at a restaurant, a hall? Where were you planning on
We
having
were
it?
planning to do it at a restaurant, and
Okay.
the reason that we are coming to Mexico, it's because they are over there. Most of them are over there, and then the restaurants we're paying in pesos, so it's
Okay.
cheaper than asking them to cross the border
Yeah.
where we're going to pay in dollars. So that's why we say approximately $15 per person, including a good dinner, the drinks, and a good dessert.
Okay.
Chantal, you wanted to speak?
No, I just wanted to say, Patty, the fact that you've been at all the presentations this week, I think is really amazing. So congratulations on that. That's
Thank
really
you.
great. And like Kayla said, I like the idea of you meeting the women where they are. I like the idea of having a smaller group too, really, creates opportunity for impact and engagement, especially when you have a group that really sought you out. So I think that's really important too. So I'm still trying to put it all together, the different moving parts, but I just want to thank you for your wonderful presentation
You're welcome.
and for joining all the events that they had this week. That's a lot. And you did great. I know there's a little person in the background there too. So you literally are the epitome of the show must go on. So
Thank you.
great job on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty, for your
You're
courage,
welcome.
investment of time, your creativity, for wanting to impact the women in your community, however it may be. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So now we'll have the judges share a little bit about how you think Patty can improve. I am partial to programs or initiatives where I see impact. So the fact that mothers are going to be impacted, that says a lot. Daughters are impacted. I think that's how change comes in generation. So that part strikes me as something that if she changes anything, that one thing should not change. That generational impact. What are your thoughts?
Yes, and I also like what she said that these are women who sought her out. So there's an obvious need there. And I think that's definitely something that she's going to use to her advantage to meet them where they are, like what we discussed. So she's already got that in the bag in terms of how she's engaging this particular group. So I think that's really good.
Any other comments? What can she improve? What would you suggest?
I agree. I really love the piece with this. I really love this parent initiative piece. And I like Angela just even put it in the chat, this idea that Patty's going about, and she's really doing some great advertising pieces for Real Women Inc., showing her passion for the work that she's doing. In the present, I'm hoping I didn't get this piece wrong. I know she something about maybe thinking whether it would be a mother-daughter kind of event. I wasn't clear whether that would just be the dinner or whether that would be the workshop. However, if it is in terms of the workshop, I would recommend that workshop just be for the parents only, without having the daughters there, so that the mothers can feel free to talk about things that they wouldn't have the liberty to be able to discuss, or should be able to discuss in front of their daughters.
Such an important point, Arlene. That's a great suggestion. You want them to feel free and safe. Go ahead.
So I just think, I really think that's a great piece, and just be able to, just like the daughters have their space, being able to give the parents their space, I think that would be great. I don't know if you might have to do it once or twice a year, because when women and parents get to talking, so much gets coming out that I don't know if one event might be enough. So sorry for giving you more work, Patty.
All right, if we have no more suggestions, we are now going to go to Cawita, Talamanca, Costa Rica. They are a strong team in that they are, majority of the women are seniors, but they have an energy like no other team. One of their chair is going to come on and she's going to present, and this is their first and only time presenting. So we want to definitely support Cawita Talamanca. Hello, Doña Laura, how are you? Welcome to Shark Tank 2023. It's good to see you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you good.
So Laura, we're going to move the judges and you are going to present, and then we'll bring the judges back. All right, good to see you.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. You want to speak in English, right? Or you want me to translate?
Yeah, I will try, but maybe I will do Spanglish sometime.
Okay.
Or read in Spanish.
Whatever you prefer. If you want me to translate, I'll stay. If not, if you're going to do your Spanglish, you're good. Not a problem.
Okay. I read in Spanish.
Okay.
Well, good evening to the judges. Good evening to everyone. And it's for me a pleasure to be here this evening. And I just want to refer a little history before I present my project, because it has to see with what I'm going to say. I just want to say my name is Laura Wilson, and I belong to the Kawita Talamanca affiliate team. We have Joyce Smith and also Veronica Walker with us. And they are supporting, and we're working with even younger women, and they too are willing to work with us. Nero, would you like to say hi?
Hi, hello, I am Veronica.
¿Qué más?
So we working, but most of all, I could say these women, they need to empower themselves, because they think that violence is only when they get a hit, but violence is psychological, and this issue affect the whole family. Even the kids around your home, it affected. From experience, I can say it is real. Sometimes women don't leave this situation because they don't have a other income, them depending on that spouse or that partner. Sometimes they don't understand that they are getting affected psychologically, and not only them alone, but the children also, because I can say it affect my children. I only get verbally, psychologically, right? I never yet get no physical blow. And at this time, I knew that it had affected my children, because they confess it to me and say, Mom, I do this and do that because you had supported this so long and it affect me, and I don't see why I should go a harder way. So I tried to explain to them the reason, because sometimes, you have two different set of children, two father, right? So it always make like a difference between the children them. And it is hard. So I understand many of these women that stay in this situation, and sad to say many had died in December. 3 of them died on the zone. And last week also, leaving a young baby and everything. But this is the condition. So we like them to get the physical, psychological health, help, and let them know that they don't supposed to stand below those those heat that is coming around them.
Mhm. Okay, thank you, Vero. So she's part of our team here in Kawita. And I just want to mention that Kawita is part of Salamanca. Salamanca has four districts, which is Kawita, Sixaola, Cabecar, and Biribiri. We have the Indian Reserve, and I just want to share with you that 2022, we were called like 30 leaders of this area to a workshop and Mesa de Negocio, where we had INAMU, we had the OFIM, which is the Municipalidad Office for Women, we had Costa Rica UNICEF, we had United Nations, and we were 30 there were 30 of us that were called. And these meant that we had three different groups of indigenous women, which is Bribri, Tarekan, and Waimit. We had Afro-descendant women, we have migrantes, and we had also mestiza. And there is a new group that came up, and it was supported in the group that was women in transition. And I just want to speak a little about women in transition for us. Is that women after 65 years. Because what we discovered that a lot of women in those age that we call adulta mayor in Costa Rica, they are suffering domestic violence as well. They are even we discovered that a lot of these third age women are in prison. And that can tell you and explain to you what is happening in our country when we have up to adultas mayores in prison for many different reasons. They are used and abused. And we had 6 different workshops where we made a plan, like a piece, so we call it, so we can work. And the different items that we took out was, we call it in Spanish, ejes temáticos, violence, health, economic, autonomy and economy, education, culture, and culture. And we were guided by these professionals to make our plan. And we call this project Common Agenda for Salamanca Women. And we plan on these the 6 items where we could talk about ourselves. And we there were a lot of discussion on the tables, and was hard discussion likewise, because when we spoke about violence, we noticed that there was a group of men that was more like, like the fault was more on the black men, and we had to defend that part, because we knew that was not just the black boys that were doing these different things, and we also had to show that some of the women that came in and visit with us has exposed themselves, and the companion that they look for drugs and have a nice time, including sex, it has caused a lot of problems. And it always been focused that the black men is doing it. So I can say thank God that I was on the table. So with other black women, and try to make them calm sometimes, because there was a lot of anger when this item came up. So what we discover is just not violence is not just harassment or violation are hitting, but also there is a systematic way of hurting people, and especially women in our case. So that's why we took out these six ejes temáticos. And as we go along working in these six different for 6 months, because it was one per month, and we could talk about the different items, talk about the different thing, and listen to other women. And this just wasn't only adult women. There were teenagers, there were young women, there was adult women, and all respected each one. We discussed and we commanded an agreement. So December, we had all get together, all put together. So for now, we know we have this agenda. So the next step is what are we going to do with this agenda? And one of the things that I suggested as for real women to the group is that we have to present it to the institution. We have to present it to the municipalidad and the alcalde. We should present it also to the deputies of Limon, and it was accepted. So I start making like a lobby work, a lobby job between these different women that help to make this plan, this agenda común that we call it. And everyone responds yes. So what we're going to do is the oficina, the municipalidad office for women, we're going to meet next month from February. We're going to start working with with the same leaders, the same women that we work with to make this plan. And the idea is to have the woman in power with this thing that we call herramienta, like a tool. And the objective of this is that we want to make in between August and September a round table discussion where we would have all the institution that has to do with domestic violence and include everyone on the table. Why? Because we want them to know our agenda, and this as a tool is going to help us to help the women in Talamanca, not just Kawita, Talamanca, the fourth district, indigenous, foreigners, women, elder women, everyone, girls, so that as they know they can make some kind of commitment. The idea too is to do it in these months, in that time, because in Costa Rica for next year, February, we will have election for mayors, the mayors and the accounting committee. So this would be a right time where they too will be invited, and what we want that they take this and submit it and have it in their plan of action. So when they sit and whoever win and making his presupuesto, so his budget or plan of action for the whole region of Salamanca, we would have priority. We should have priority in the item. And the Oficina de la Mujer Municipal, which all of us agree on that it's abandoned a little, and we all command a concession, that we're going to work for it to keep open and for the purpose it was open for. So we planning to have this, and the idea is to move that day to Bribri, which is the cabecera, which is the central part of the canton, where we could move women from Sixaola, from Kawita, from Cabeca and Bribri to the center. And we the table discussion there, and move. We planning about 50 to 60 women in the different age that I mentioned before, and present it, present it to the institution, like the municipalidad, INA, IMAS, INAMO, Defensoría de los Habitantes with the Department of Women, also UNFA. UNFA is one of those, the one is organization from United Nations that help us go through with this project that we did last year, 2022. So the idea is move the women to a place in Bribri. After getting them there, the institution will be there, present, and these women would be the one presenting it. So from February back onward, we will be meeting with these women one time at least per month to empower them to know good the material and to know to stand before these folks and present what we asking for. And we just have small amount, but we are going to represent the women in general in Talamanca. We have been having a lot of issues and violence here. We had in December, late December, a mom was killed and she was only 25. She left 4 kids. The youngest is 9 months old. We one of the our friend, one of the indigenous lady called me like 2 weeks ago and she told me there were two other indigenous women was killed, but to access the place where they live is only by helicopter. So the helicopter was bad. The government couldn't reach out. So we just imagine that they buried them. The kids is there, the family is there, and supposed to be the criminal out there still. So there's a lot of things. We have traffic. We have sexual, ¿cómo llamarlo? Turismo sexual, where women come from different places here and they are like charter them to come. They are abused in different ways. And what one of the things we want to do and in this um, activity is make a declaration what we want the municipalidad declare that Talamanca libre de violencia doméstica y libre de trata de personas y libre de sexo turismo. Those are the things we're going for. And I know we can do it and we're going to do it. So this is basically what we're standing for. And as I mentioned, the part with the older lady women, women at times when women reach to a certain age, in our country after 45, you don't get no one get you for a job. So a lot of women at that age cannot get a job. So there's a lot of stuff they do. And it's very, very hard. It's the age where they still have kids that depend on them. And it's awful, and we see this situation in our country, not just here in our area, but in general in our country. The situation is get crisis is getting worse and worse every day. And we know that because of lack of jobs and different things is going to go worse. But also we know that empowering women and teaching them, not just teaching them their right, but giving them a tool to work. One other person that I didn't mention is UNED. UNED is a university at distancia, like you study home and just go to do your exam and thing. And today, specifically, I met with the dean and she promised me that she's going to help us so we can have ferias where the women can sell their things. So we make planning all those activities. So from February right on to that day, we will be having different activities to empower women. One, to let them know that they're worth living. Two, that they can make it. They don't have to depend on no one. And empowering women means that we have to teach them, we have to educate them and teach them that they can do something, that they don't have to depend on than someone that is abusing of them, and not only of them but their kids also. So this is what we're going for, and I know that it's going to happen by the help of God, because we're not going to stop. And the lady that I spoke with, even the lady that we got migrantes, these migrantes are women that is from, some of them is from US, some of them is from Germany, some are Swiss, and they all called me and they told me they are in. So I have to meet with them. We have to meet with them and just listen to them, and let them know too what we stand for, and let them know that we are not going to accept no type of discrimination and about black men. If they are guilty, we have to proceed. But if not, we just have to know who is causing the problem and go through to the one who is causing the problem. And we keep working, and thank you for listening. And I'm here to listen what the judge has to say to us this evening.
Thank you very much, Laura and Veronica. Wow, really changing laws. This is a whole other level of awareness. Changing laws, not just having an activity, but changing the laws. Okay, let's go. Let's hear from the judges. Let's hear your questions to Laura and Veronica at this time.
Hi, ladies. Thank you, Laura and Veronica, for sharing such a wonderful, detailed, and thorough presentation. And Veronica, I also want to thank you for sharing your testimony and your story. I know that must have been very difficult, and you inspire me, because I think it's really important to have someone like you in this discussion as well, because you've been on that journey. You're on that journey. So I don't think that people should ever underestimate their voice and their experience and what they can bring to the table. So I commend you for that as well. So thank you for sharing. And I also want to say that I absolutely love this idea that you are all seeking to build a coalition of women that are going to support and keep their community leaders accountable in creating legislation that supports and empowers women. And it is something that's happening currently. It's taking place now, and we see it. I mean, I'm a person who's a little more in tune with what's happening, current events and stuff. I read a lot, and so I know that this is a serious problem taking place all over the world, but specifically in our Central South American countries. They're calling it an epidemic. Really, that's what they're calling it. So we are having very important discussions that are taking place in real time, and so there is a sense of urgency to what you're presenting, to what you're trying to do. And so I'm proud of both of you for what you are doing, and you inspire me. And so my main question I have for you all is, you mentioned, Laura, that it was going to be 50 to 60 women that will be participating in the discussion. Are you like?
These women.
I was just a little confused about the actual event part, but I understand that we're having this discussion. You're going to have different events that lead up to the big, big event, right?
Yes. These women, is going to be women from all the different ethnic group that I mentioned.
Okay.
We will be working with them with our tool that would be agenda común that we build together. The idea is that they know it, just not have it on paper, that a deadline, but have it in our hand, discuss it together, and that they can stand before the government and make proposal, according to the different laws that they are not complying with.
Based on your agenda común.
Yes.
Yes, based on that. we stand for this. So there will be that amount of women, but not all will be talking, but there will be our backup.
Right.
And we need to have the firmas to make a declaratoria.
Signatures. Have your signatures.
Yes, like a petition. Yes, yes.
Yes.
I love
yes.
that. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that you're creating, you're making a space to create this proposal together, and then you're keeping your community stakeholders accountable for seeing it through. And so this is great.
So I think Chantal, you hit it on the nail. What she's doing is really coalition and movement building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really what she's bringing the people from the grassroots, and very interesting, very not interesting. That's not the word. Very impressive. Yeah, very impressive. Okay, let's hear Adriana and Arlene.
My question is, you mentioned workshops. Where do you plan to have these workshops, and how you plan to market to bring the women to these workshops?
Well, the works we start working already. What I did, I talked with the indigenous leaders, each one, and they have a commitment already because they are the one that help us build this agenda. So they know their people and they know who to bring. I'm not telling them who to bring. They know who to bring, and they know. And so as we talk with them, also they are going to, because for instance, in the indigenous people, they have association in the Indian Reserve. So these women are part of that association. So they are going to get other leaders to be involved. This is about everyone, es como son personas que realmente we know they could move and they're doing something already and they know is and then we spoke already with the Oficina de la Mujer Municipal because she was with us as we build this agenda. So she is happy to know that it has been built with the resources from UMPA, from United Nations in AMU, and it's not going to be a deadline because we have already moving on it. So these workshops will be held in Bribri at that office many of the time. We're going to the mayor also because we will need refreshment and different things. So we're working on that, and we decide that if we have to carry our lunch and share between each other, we're going to do that, but this has to be done.
Arlene, any questions?
Oh my goodness.
I'm looking at your face.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Laura makes me want to book a ticket to help her. That's how bad it is that I'm sitting here with this. I really think this is such a really awesome project. So really congratulations to this team. Veronica, thank you for just being able to share part of your story with us as well, and to give us even a more personal view of this agenda. I think there are a lot of things in places. There are a lot of moving pieces here. And I've been trying to document all these moving pieces, and I do not think that I've done a good job, right? I know that there is some lobbying, there are joint coalitions with the UN, Dean of a college, and so on and so forth. You have some dates outlined already. You know that from February to July, you are having workshops once a month, and that is a training piece. My recommendation would be, because the groundwork is already there. My recommendation would be for this team to, since your title is a common agenda for Kahumita women, to create some kind of portfolio, complete with an executive summary and followed by a listing of all these different initiatives. Because you're doing so many things, I would have loved to have a booklet in front of me right now that outlines all these different things that you're doing, that states the problem that you're trying to solve, why you're trying to solve this problem with the research that you already have, the objectives that you outlined already. And even with me reading that, I think it would have helped me, but also because you are really you're trying to change, to change an entire system. I think that when you go out to speak, that is not only that you're speaking, but that if you have something to give to somebody to read. So, for example, if you were speaking to somebody like me, I would hear 90% of what you said, but I would have to go and read the rest and have a document to read that with, so that I can further support your initiatives and also give what you're doing an even more professional look because of what you're trying to do. We're trying to change something. We're trying to shake up an entire system. And so everything now, you need to level up on every single level.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I wanted to find out something. Nobody has asked yet, but what budget are you thinking about, Laura? I'm not. Okay, sorry, Arlene. Go ahead.
That's fine.
Yeah, what are you thinking about financially? Because you're talking about training women, coming together. There's a lot of, what are you thinking of financially? How much would this cost?
Well, financially, I'm thinking for the specific day, $400. Because the rest, you guys know that I work with the money that others have.
That's the way to do it. I have to say it softly. That's the way to do it. Thank you, Miss Laura. That's the way to do it.
Is this $400 per day per month for each of the months, or
no, just for the final day.
Oh, for the final
day. Yeah.
So Laura and Veronica, we thank you so much for really bringing this, and I think that a lot of teams and a lot of us can learn from the way you're coalition building, and what you're trying to do is really change and shake up a system and hold those people who ask us to vote for them. You're asking them to be accountable, not just come and ask me for your vote, but tell me what you're going to do based on what I told you that I need. I mean, that's power right there.
Yeah.
Veronica, thank you for sharing your story. It takes a lot of bravery to come on and you share the systemic part. It impacted you and then your children also. Thank you for that. I am sure that because it's going to be recorded and it's on YouTube, you will continue to inspire many. Laura, once again, and Veronica, thank you. We're going to remove you, and then we're going to ask the judges to share further. I think Arlene shared a key point here, but let's see what else the judges have to suggest. Thank you, Laura and Veronica. Thank you for the investment of your time, and thank you for. I was worried about the internet, but it came on really well. Thank you.
Yes.
So, judges, what are your thoughts? This is major. This is the kind of thing that.
Yes, yeah. Well, I love what you said about the power piece. I think reintroducing that the power is really in your hands is what's important, because I forget, we really, like I said it earlier, we underestimate the power of our voice and our experiences, our shared experiences. And when you get women together in a space like that, there is no telling what they can do. We've seen it happen before. We'll see it again. It's happening in all different spaces and places. So I think that's really great. I also want to add, I really liked what Arlene said about being able to level up in all ways, because you're encompassing all these different moving parts and community stakeholders. You want to make sure that you're sharp and prepared and ready, so people take you seriously. You're not just another talking head, right? So it's very important that the ladies, have their agenda and everybody's on the same page and everybody's engaging the same way. So that way, when they do present this information to these stakeholders, they're getting their attention. And so I really like that you mentioned that to them, because it's not enough just to have the ideas and the numbers and people show up. You have to have people take you seriously, and you have to be serious about it too. So I like that you brought that up to remind them.
Absolutely. I think that here I want to perhaps Adriana, we want to commit you to helping them out with that document.
Yeah, that was about to say that. I love that idea because you present all your ideas, your plans, your calendar to these people, and maybe a few days later they're like, "What she say? When was the date?" If you can let them a handbook, they can read. Oh, here's the day. Here are the calendar. Here's what they do. Here's the contact info. So that will be very, very helpful.
Absolutely.
So we had to work together to do that, and just print a few ones for these these leaders that she will meet, these people in power, so that she can hand them a handbook.
Yes. Thank you very much, judges. Great suggestions. We have our final team for tonight.
Okay.
Go ahead, Arlene.
I forgot to say that I really loved, in addition to loving everything else this team was doing, I loved how you're using that election that's coming up.
Right.
And to be able to think,
yes.
Yeah, I'm even thinking
Yes.
with this handbook, and we know Adriana is just going to do a beautiful job designing that. We don't have there's no question there. The professionalism is going to be on. And how to use that, thinking on how to leverage that even more as part of your action plan to get those resources that you need, whether it's funding or whether, it could be a plug for Pharrell Women Inc. as well here in order to push this initiative, because politicians will be able to say, a politician that is supporting your initiative would be able to say, here's what we're doing and here's who we're partnering with to get these things done. And so I think if that team can get this up running and out like sooner rather than later, then they would have a really, they'll be able to have some really strong support in their lobbying efforts and to get.
And you're mentioning a very good point. They're leveraging that is actually something that helps us.
Yes.
It helps the entire organization because you can say, listen, these women over there did this. Beware. Beware. They will shake and move. So it's something that would help all of us and being very strategic. Thank you for that. So let's look at Curacao, Willemstad, Dutch Caribbean in the interest of time. They have presented all 4 nights also. We're very excited. Tonight they have Vivian. Vivian will be presenting for the team. Let's bring Vivian on. Vivian, we're going to remove the judges and I'm going to stay on to help translate. What happened to Vivian? Okay. I'm going to stay on to help translate for Vivian. Go right ahead, Vivian. Present your project.
Feliz noche.
Good night to everyone.
Nós estamos muito contentes que nós podemos atrove como o último grupo para finalizar o Shark Tank aqui que está 4 dias sumamente interessante.
So we're very excited to be the final group presenting on this 4th day, and these 4 days have been very interesting.
Nossa meta hobby preocupana por sopa é violência doméstica.
We're very concerned on the island of Curacao for the domestic violence.
Estudio não demonstra que 1 de cada 3 gente na Curacao chega a experienciar violência doméstica em sua idade adulta.
The latest data shows that 1 of 3 of the population in Curacao has had some type of experience with domestic violence.
Está aqui dá 25% de gente homem e 38% de gente mulher.
This translates to 25% of men and 38% women.
E nada, tem estudo aqui nada señala algum fator na puta 13 e violência doméstica especificamente na pessoa.
And here in this study, they show some specific factors that are kind of like the ones that are embedded in domestic violence in Curacao.
Então, é prometo nada mencionada, que chama minha atenção mais ao mês, então é vista simplesmente tá gente mulher.
And the first one is the one that really called my attention was simply women.
esta gente mulher e acaba botando risco de sofrer violência doméstica.
If you are a woman, you are at risk to suffer domestic violence in Curacao.
Também se botar mucha of hobby.
If you're also young, you're also at risk of being involved in domestic violence.
E deve ser também por gente não que tem uma educação mais nível mais abaixo ou viver da sofrer violência doméstica.
Persons who are of low education oftentimes are at higher risk for domestic violence.
Of gente não que ora quando anda botar chiquito ou jovem a experienciar violência doméstica dentro da casa.
Or anyone who, when they were younger, experienced or suffered from domestic violence in their own home.
Também, gente mulher não divorciada ou mama não solteiro.
Mothers who are single and also women who have been divorced are at high risk.
E também, mencionar gente não que está desempregada.
And also women who are unemployed are at higher risk.
Durante o período de COVID e 2 anos de COVID na passou, também nós tivemos aumento de violência doméstica.
During the years that we had COVID, we saw an increase in domestic violence on the island.
2 anos passados, nós for Women International Dutch Caribbean, estava tendo Zoom meeting com Fiona Harwood.
2 years ago, where we were still in the middle of the pandemic, we had a Zoom meeting and we invited Fiona Harewood, who is also for Women International.
Yes. And o tópico de 2 anos passados estava conseguir depois de violência doméstica.
And the topic from those 2 years ago was, how do you carry on? How do you continue life after experiencing domestic violence?
E aí aqui nós que pone énfasis tique diferente riba e fecha.
This year, we want to have a little bit of a different emphasis on this Awareness Day.
Obibiano simplesmente papia de abuso, violência doméstica e abuso contra de gente mulher.
Oftentimes, we talk about the abuse and domestic violence against women.
Nós, for the Women Dutch Caribbean, e aí aqui para que tu ia pensar como evitar a violência contra a gente mulher.
But this year, for We Women International Dutch Caribbean, we want to talk about how do we avoid domestic violence against women.
Então, você é dia aqui, dia 25 de novembro, nós temos número sumamente bonito.
And that's why this November 25th, which is the day of domestic violence, elimination of domestic violence against women, we have given our program a beautiful name.
Just love and care.
Trust, love,
just love
and care.
And care. Simplemente estima y cuida.
Just love and care.
¿Qué conozco logra con el título aquí?
What do we want to accomplish with this title?
Nos que trae un cambio de mentalidad.
We want to bring a change in mindsets.
Por ejemplo, me da un ejemplo de mi mes con mi Johanber.
I want to give an example of myself and my son.
Ahora con mi Johanber viene, ando hace algo con me siente incómodo con él, no intencionalmente hasta la gami siente dolor.
Sometimes my son may do something that he may not feel that is intentional, but it makes me feel some kind of a way or feel pain.
Me da dice, mi yo me llama Josué, me da dice Josué, lo que ocupo hace a la gami siente dolor.
I make sure that I voice that to him. I say to him, my son's name is Josue. I say to him, Josue, what you just did to me harmed me or caused me pain.
Então, me dá para eu poder consciente que a ação é hace outro gente dolor.
I do it because I want him to become aware that that action caused someone else some harm.
Então, esse é o que nos hace, crea consciência e começa a trazer cambio de mentalidade.
And that's what we want to do. We want to bring awareness and to start working on that change of mindsets and mentalities.
Sabe esse dia 25 de novembro de ano aqui,
So on the 25th of November of this year,
nós lo tem Zoom meeting atrove.
we're going to have a Zoom meeting again.
E bia que nós lo não invita solamente gente mulher,
This time we're not only inviting women,
nós lo invita gente mulher, gente homem e jovem masculino.
we are bringing men, women, and young men.
Tanto de Corsol, Aruba e Bonaire.
And we're bringing them from all three islands, from Aruba, from Curacao, and from Bonaire.
Então, nós invitado e bia que atrove lo da Fiona Harwood.
And this time again, we're inviting Fiona Harewood.
Fiona da uene com a experiência abuso e a cruza abuso e da viva vida gostosa.
Fiona experienced abuse at many levels in relationships, and she overcame it, and now she's living a very fulfilling life.
Você não sabe que esta é a pessoa ideal para ir e título que nós escolhe simplesmente cima e cuida.
And that is why we believe that she's the ideal person to carry this just love and care title forward.
Nós que invitar mínimo 100 pessoas para participar em Zoom aqui. Nós que para 100 pessoas tá arriba em Zoom e viagem.
Our goal is to get 100 persons to come to attend that Zoom meeting.
Então, não solamente lo está escuchando Fiona, sino também lo está parte de discussão. Também cada pessoa pode dar sua opinião com a minha forma para nós por aplicar simplesmente cima e cuida.
So besides listening to Fiona, we're also going to allow people to share their opinions and to have dialogue about how can we just love and care for each other more.
E nós lo usar medio social para nós promocionar nossa atividade e aí houve gente para participar.
And of course, we're going to use social media to promote this activity and get a lot of people to participate and join us on that Zoom meeting.
Também nós lo usa flyers para nós por entregar personalmente e motivar ele para estar junto conosco.
And we also use flyers, hard copy flyers, so that we can, in person, one-on-one, invite people and motivate them to join the meeting.
E presupuesto que nós tem calculado de $100.
Our budget is of $100.
Antes aqui dá para cobrir o gasto de Zoom e também para nós imprimir nos flyers para nós poder partir personalmente.
And this is to cover the Zoom cost and to also be able to print our flyers and to distribute them.
E nós temos seguro que essa aqui é princípio por lo 13 conscientização e cambio de mentalidade na Corsol, Aruba e Bonaire.
And we believe strongly that this is going to be the beginning of an awareness that's going to bring a shift in the mindsets of all the population in the three islands, in Curacao, Aruba, and Bonaire. This is our presentation for tonight. Let's bring the judges on and let's hear from the judges as they ask you questions. Thank you, Vivian.
I can go.
I would
Hi, Vivian. Okay.
Hello. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Vivian. Good evening. Thank you so much for sharing your presentation with us. I just had one question for you. I know you said that you're curious. Why Zoom? Why not in person? Are you trying to do Zoom first to like build up the momentum and then have it in person eventually? I just wanted to know your thinking around that.
A mim não escuta e pergunta bom, Norta.
Ita punta di con Zoom e no en real, en persona. Si es que vos
Sí.
crece el momentum o vos ¿cuál es la estrategia detrás
Ok,
de Zoom?
Zoom. É motivo de Zoom tá por nós tá 3 islas, riba su curva. Então,
The
para nós alcançar. Uhum.
the reason why we're using Zoom is that even though we're in Curacao, but we're really 3 islands. And for us to be able to reach the other islands, go ahead, Vivian.
Para nós alcançar e na riba é outra isla não também, nós temos que usar Zoom e hora aí.
And because we want to also impact the people who are in Bonaire and Aruba, we have to use Zoom.
A ideia se traz também por nós que motivar para o women internacional por ganhar vida na Bonaire e Aruba também.
And the end goal is that for Real Women International, we can plant seeds to have other chapters of For Real Women International in Bonaire and Aruba.
Awesome. I just had one more comment. I wanted to commend you on the fact that you're inviting young to this Zoom. And I also wanted to commend you again on the fact that you are getting to learn about things that might hurt you or cause you pain. I think that because you're learning from his, I'm so sorry, I have to translate. Because he's learning from his mother about the things that might bring her harm and pain, he knows not to bring that elsewhere, to friends, school, work. Yeah, so I commend you on that.
Vivian, vos te comprende, right?
Sí, ela avisa por tocar de Josué.
Sí, bom.
Okay. I don't really have a question. I just want to congratulate you because you talk about every point. You know, there's nothing for me to ask. And I love the goal, the change mindsets. That's a really important goal. So kudos on that.
Yeah. Excellent job, Vivian. I think this plan is highly doable. You have a date already that's set, 11/25. So that's already a set date. You understand, you know how much funding you want and so on. And you had a great explanation for why this was a Zoom event rather than an in-person event. I like that you're thinking about this topic from both levels, from both the female perspective, but also from the male perspective. And so from that end, I am thinking you already have a speaker, but I'm also thinking that for your Zoom event, whether you plan to will you have breakout sessions or will it be just, will you have separate events in different breakout rooms, maybe for the women versus the men? We think about having, if males are there, also having a male speaker so that they can have somebody that they may connect with, not that they may not connect with Fiona, but having a male speak to males as well could also be, I think, maybe very helpful for them as well. And then being able to have perhaps some breakout sessions where Fiona can do some work with the females and a male do some work with the males as well, but I don't know how much time you plan to do that. I know you said it's a Zoom meeting. I am thinking about it more like a Just Love and Care conference. So whether you have that, whether you have a meeting with everyone, where you have Fiona speak to everyone, perhaps take lunch, come back at some other point. I don't know if it's doable. I'm just saying, right? But then being able to have these sessions that would be able to meet the needs of everyone that you're going to introduce there as well. Because I'm thinking that if this is such a problem in the community, and by the way, thank you for the statistics. I thought the research was impeccable. How the males within that community might first react to hearing a female come and say, oh, here's what you can do, here's what you can do, and versus having a male speak to them to try to break down some barriers first as well.
Okay. Me dá aprecia a ideia, nós não pensei, mas me dá essa super boa sugerência que nós lo temos em conta, que um Zoom meeting lo por vai hasta 2 horas, 2 horas e meia, porque nós arriba sábado à tarde, 1 hora que o cliente livre, por menos cobrir 2 horas e assim tudo possível.
Yeah. So she says that your suggestion is it's very good. They haven't thought about that, but they definitely can incorporate that. They're thinking about doing it like a Saturday afternoon where a lot of people are probably free during that time, and anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours for that meeting would be very well received. Thank you very much, Mashadanki, Vivian. Mashadanki. Thank you
Arlene,
for your
un
commitment
placer.
and your investment of time. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well done.
So let's see what other suggestions. I mean, trying to impact 3 islands,
Impressive.
impressive. With the end goal of trying to plant a seed for the growth of their own the organization.
Impressive.
Quite impressive. I see someone here, Glenda, is saying that she has a sister who lives in Aruba, and her sister needs to hear, participate, and get involved. So, okay, Glenda. Vivian, you need to send that flyer. Once Adriana creates a flyer, Glenda needs to know so she can get her sister to join. Any other comments, Chantal, Kayla, Adriana, Arlene?
No, I thought you had a great presentation, great ideas. I love the emphasis on community care, and just love and care. Two very, humble words, simple words, but they carry a lot of weight. So, and there's a lot of different avenues that she can, take that theme in, and she can even take that theme and break it down into different sessions. Like how you mentioned, Darlene, how she can, not only tie in what the day is about, right? But also how you can, be a little softer, share a little more, make space for joy, make space for each other, like all those things. I think that she can do a lot of different things with that theme. Um, so she can get creative in that way. And of course, being able to reach, the other sister islands, and continue to build her chapter in Curacao and get more support from, people in her community. So I think she can go a lot of places with this particular theme.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yes, going off of what Arlene said about the conference, I like the one that For Real Woman did for St. Lucia that went over a few days. I think that was really successful and was over Zoom, and there was different speakers for different sections for different age groups. So if copying that model for her own and making it into a conference, that would be nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to put the judges on the spot. We're going to shift. Over these 4 days, we've had $900 in donations. I think that's fantastic, right? I would like to ask the judges, why should people support an organization like For Real Women International? And if there are members that are watching, type in the chat. Why should people support an organization like For Real Women International? What are your thoughts, judges?
I can say we already say this the second day. I still see in every single team, these people don't just say, okay, it's Woman's Day or Girl Day, let's do something nice. No, they are really aware of what the community needs, and what they do is something that is really needed. This woman are changing, are making change in their communities. And that is amazing. It's not just, okay, Violence Day, let's, do a movie, do some talk. No, they do this changing stuff that is amazing. And that's why I think that we need to support these programs.
Yes. And I think we always refer to ourselves as agents of change, and emphasizing that everyone can be an agent of change, no matter where you are, where you're from, how old you are, how you look. Anybody can do it. The message is available to anyone. And again, the idea that you have a community that supports you, and you are, like I said, supported and empowered and encouraged to continue. And I had something else I really wanted to say, and I can't remember. But yes, again, the fact that anybody could be an agent of change. Oh yes, and it doesn't have to be this large gesture. I think people have this idea that to make an impact, you have to, always do something large and grand. I think building momentum and doing things that you build your team out, I think is really important. That no matter how many people you get into a room, you still made an impact. You've still got your message out there. So I think For Real Woman does a great job at doing that, because there are so many different moving parts in all the different areas. And I think that's the main reason why people should support.
I think it's easy for nonprofits to have a pretty website and put, fluff on the website and their donors, their friends. But the Women in For Real Woman, they actually hit the ground running and they go deep, and they're intentional about meeting the needs of their communities. And I think that's very special about For Real Woman. So definitely support.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I agree with everything that was said just now. Why should you support For Real Women International? One, the name is always nice. So, it just rolls off your tongue, FRWI, For Real Women International. And even as we listen to the presentations just throughout the week, and tonight, Vivian said, how can you carry on after? And the presenter before that said that they're working with women that are in transition. So For Real Women International works with women in transition. They work with girls in transition. They're working also with men in transition. So, and boys in transition. So we see that they're expanding by responding to the needs as they come up within their communities. And they're helping people to carry on. They're helping people to carry on during. They're helping people to carry on after. And they're also thinking about how do we help people to avoid even being able to carry on after? How do we avoid individuals, for example, as Vivian said, in domestic violence? I think because we live in the times that we live in, we can pull up a YouTube video on just about anything. There are lots of pink rooms out there, people just talking. There are lots of speakers on anything. But I think the difference for Real Women is that they're not just speakers, but For Real Women are doers. And that is enough to volunteer to donate to For Real Women International. You want more doers at this time.
And on that note, love it. Doers. On that note, and so true, the world needs more doers. There's a lot of people talking, but what are they doing? So on that note, we want to ask the judges, just give us your final words of this experience of tonight. What were your thoughts? I mean, seeing these ladies come on, really take the time to structure their plans and the strategy behind it. What were your thoughts? If you had to give it one word as to what you experienced tonight with the teams or anything that really stuck out to you, it would be great to hear from you now.
One word I would say inspiring. They are all inspiring, and the way they selfless give their time, their resources many times from their own pockets, that is amazing.
Adriana took my word.
Yes, my word too. I would have to say visionaries. Visionaries is a great one too. Not just looking at what's going to happen now and how you're going to affect that change now, but how it will continue to affect generations and other people coming down the line. When we're talking about mothers, and then we're talking about daughters, and then fathers and sons, getting everybody in on this discussion. So seeing far beyond what is in the now, I think, is what has really been inspiring, and what has really been the kind of centering theme for a lot of the discussions that we've had tonight and the presentations that we've seen, planting the seeds. So that way you've built your momentum, everybody knows your message, and then you move on from that and continue to build on that.
Since Adriana took my other word, I'm going to use the word creativity. I moved on, Adriana. Right? We heard some really creative presentations, and I was just on just last night. I didn't even hear for the full week, but from what I've heard so far in I think how many presentations? 8 so far, Noka. I've heard some really creative ideas. They're really, I normally just like to say it's really good stuff. So my good stuff for me just means that I think it's just coming together. It's wonderful. And I think I want to just encourage you, because I think the teams are all doing so much great things. So don't forget that you are a part of For Real Women International, which means that you have a support system to help you to develop even other parts of these excellent plans that we see already.
Yes.
Yes, and I would say purposeful, because like I said before, these women, they're not just coming up with ideas out of the blue, but really honing in on the needs of their communities and taking those needs and creating purpose in the different plans and initiatives that they want to go on with.
We want to thank our judges. You guys have been amazing to invest your time also. We know people come from work, they're tired, but you invested school, you invested of your time to come and give very good suggestions, make salient points, strategize, help the teams to strategize further. We thank you so much. Our next event is going to be on Saturday, and it's going to be Pink Room. We're going to be discussing Meghan Markle and the British monarchy. Only white women need apply. We invite you to join to have this discussion. This is the thing of the day. And why do we add our voices to these conversations? Because sometimes you need sane voices. There's a lot of talk out there. You need sane voices to look at things, and you need the voices that are going to dig deep and look at the realities of where women are. We want to thank you once again for joining us today. And we want to say to you that even though this is our final night for Shark Tank, we are looking forward to see the teams, not only when they start marketing, you'll see that on our social media. We want you to support them. Support them with your attendance, support them with your donations, support them with their encouragement. Become a fan of For Real Women International. And just join in and elevate the voices that are doing, what is it that you said, Chantal? Grassroots, the great.
Grassroots greatness.
Grassroots greatness. Elevate grassroots greatness. Sometimes we hear of the big people up there in the plush offices with the millions of dollars, but we don't hear about the people of the grassroots really doing the work to change your community and change the systems that impact and oppress. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been fantastic. I am so proud of every team, every person, of the judges. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to 2023. Is going to be an amazing year for Real Women International, and we look forward to just being part of the excitement. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night, ladies. Good night, everyone.
Good night, ladies. Good night, everyone.